Okay, the initial problem with the first bracket was that there was no way of securing it to that spindle. Thus, when you adjusted the chain, yeah, that wasn't going to work. It would move the disc out from the caliper, and then so when you press the brake, nothing would happen because it would just cling onto itself because the disc wouldn't be there. Big disc though, isn't it? Look at that, 4. So I've got a lot of 5mm steel knocking around, and that's I thought, right, what if I make this thing in 2D? What if I make this thing, this carrier here, in 2D? So it's a flat bit of 5mm steel with a hole in it. Those other holes are unnecessary. And then it goes back, and then you need to bend a bit up to make a bit of channel to hold on the bottom, and bend a bit down to make a bit of channel to go on the top. So you can see if that was 2D, if that was all flattened out, you could cut that from a piece of steel. And then there's that bit there, which is just 2 holes. Right, so I'm thinking, I'm making this thing in cardboard. Imagine that bit at the bottom is curved underneath it, because it will be. I've beaten 5mm steel into much tighter shapes than that. I shall show you. It's difficult to see because it's been painted black, but that is the instrument face with the keyhole sticking out of it. It is then, that's part of it as well, and it was cut there. That's not been welded, that's just been cut. And that's part of it. It was all 2D, and then this bit was sticking up and it was bent down, so it was horizontal, and then this bit was bent down vertical, so it butt against that. The idea is everything would be really, 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 really solid, and it's incredibly over-engineered for what it is, which is just that. You could have made that out of anything. But the point is, I've got a big bit of this 5mm steel because I was going to make the seat base for the Harley with it. And when it arrived, the minute I picked the packet up, I realised that this was way too thick. So then I ordered some, I think 2mm or 3mm, and that was much better. That's still quite a heavy seat. But I've got a lot of this stuff left over. Hang on, focus. So I'm thinking, this is the first stage. There's 2 parts to this cardboard arrangement. One is the sort of semicircle that the caliper is literally bolted to hold. The caliper, you can see a little bit tube there. I put a tiny little bit of 4mm tube inside the caliper so it sit on the disc, because obviously I don't want it sitting on the disc. I want a gap so it goes freely, because there is an incredible amount of rolling resistance, and it's that brake alone. Everything else on this bloody bike is like, it really, you know, hang on. No, I won't spin the wheel because it's got that on it and it will fall off. Hang on. Right, there you go. Okay. It's like a fucking perpetual motion machine. And this thing is such a twat to push. And it's just because of this stupid brake here, which has got 1 cylinder, so it's always like grinding on this poor disc here. Look at it. That'll still be going at the end of the video. But like, for instance, I balanced that and it's like really in. Some time later. So as you can see, I've got both the lads in the house at the moment. It's quite jolly. It's like a sleepover. We've been staying up and telling manly stories. Am I the only person that thinks of bikes as, if they've got any gender at all, that they're male? I mean, you're sitting on a great big phallic symbol. It seems a bit... Just boats as well, ships. They're always she. But that one's Gromit. Gromit's named after a stop-motion animation character who is, well, he's a dog and does seem to present as male. This one didn't really have a name, but because for ages it was just the bike, it was the only one I had. So, but I do think of it as Donkey from Shrek. And Donkey's definitely male because Donkey got that girl dragon pregnant. Christ, where was I? Oh yeah, right, the other bit of the puzzle that's missing is, obviously, when you look at the back of this, it's also a spacer. It's got another little one somewhere, which I've lost. I mean, it's somewhere. Another little one behind it as well, which I might still need. So obviously that's where the 3-dimensional thing becomes really important, I think. So at the back of here, you can't see it at all, I have a spacer. And what it actually is made of, it's aluminium. And what I did was I took one of these things. See how it's dark down here. At the bottom of the push rods, there's the guides for the lifters. And I replaced those, and so I got one of the old ones and I chopped it down, and I'm using that at the moment, and it's a little bit too small, the hole in the middle, but I filed it out. It's only a spacer, it doesn't have to be exact. It's not a bush. As long as it's the right length, it's doing its job. That's what she said. Hey, donkey. Hey, hey. Ugh. So, very excited. I think I can make this work. I think I've learned from my previous lessons. The next step is to use that setup to make a cardboard template that's, I can't, obviously the two things have got to come together. So make a second cardboard template and then make the metal one, and then it should work. I should have an actual working, not only a working rear brake, but a bike with very little rolling resistance, which I'm very much looking forward to, especially when it fucks up and I have to push it. Cheery bye.